Hey,
Good afternoon.
how are you doing?
Pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're
You're
nice.
kind of low at this point. Let me do some adjustments here.
You're nice and loud. So,
Okay,
uh,
just a moment. Let me. Hmm,
I look like I'm the only one here right now.
okay.
Uh, anything new?
Um. Well, not that I can think of. The most technical thing that I've done is yesterday I had a adjustment on my hearing aids and also some additional training as to how to use them. Was strange because one of the issues that works is that connects to my phone, and the app wouldn't connect.
Ah,
So I walked in to Costco to ask a bunch of questions, and of course, the minute I got across the threshold of Costco, it started working. So but I'm really happy with it, and
see, that's
I
the same. That's the same theory. You take a car to a mechanic, they can't find the problem, so it must not be the car's fault, right?
yeah, well, I think that I don't know. The problem was it said it the app would say it wasn't connecting to the earbuds or
Yeah,
earphones, and since it's started connecting, it's I've been very happy with it. You can adjust. Turns out you can adjust a whole slew of parameters from your phone.
yeah.
So volume, frequency, um, you can also use it to connect to various other devices. So, so far so good. I'm pretty happy, and certainly I had originally been expecting to have to lay out 5, 6 grand to get them, and it turns out our total tab Costco there in I don't know what it's not Sharonville because that's not there anymore, but there's one up in uh, someplace up close to where Ken lives, and the whole tab came to like $1,700, and it makes a considerable difference. As a matter of fact, it makes you appreciate being deaf because there's a lot of crap you hear
Right.
that you'd just as leave not. Okay. I mean, I was sitting there um, waiting to go in for my appointment, and I heard this conversation going on. I thought, boy, what is that? And turned out it was somebody in two somebodies someplace behind me that was uh, having an altercation. I'll put it that way. So it definitely works okay, and I am pleased, and the technology couldn't be any better. Well, obviously it can always be better, but I mean, being able to adjust your whole uh, system from your smartphone is pretty neat.
Right.
So, so you are the lonesome warrior today, huh?
I am apparently. I'm not real sure. I haven't heard anybody not coming, so
Well, the
I don't know. Maybe they hit some traffic. It looked like northbound side of 75. It's pretty backed up. So
really
yeah,
okay.
and I was gonna say, my mom's got probably very, very similar hearing aids to you. She's got them attached to her phone, and she couldn't find her phone today. We spent probably 20 minutes looking for the stupid thing. She had them paired to the Bluetooth so she could hear them. And we said, well, just unpair them. Just turn the Bluetooth off. I can't
Mm-hmm.
do that without the phone. I need the phone to do that. Oh,
Yeah.
like
So, so if you just call her, it doesn't ring.
no, no. I could hear it ringing in her ear, but I couldn't. We had no idea where the phone actually was. Eventually, we found it. We knew it had to be somewhere close because, I mean, Bluetooth,
Yeah.
but
Well,
still,
that's
it ended up being in the car. So,
oh, okay.
so even if it was going to ring, even if she had unpaired her phone, we wouldn't have heard it anyway because it was in the car. Ah, the fun,
Well,
the fun of Bluetooth. I can hear it ringing. I can hear it ringing. Well, why don't you answer it?
yeah.
You don't know who it is. Okay.
The Bluetooth on my phone turns out to be kind of handy because it is connected to my hearing aids. It is also connected to my uh, insulin monitor and so forth and so on. So it's real handy, and I don't have it connected to the car because normally what we do is have Barbara's connected to the car because she's out and about quite a bit more, but we haven't gone through that exercise yet. So,
Mine, I don't use Bluetooth much. My smartwatch, which I forgot to put on today, and the car stereo. That's really the only two things that I use it for.
uh-huh.
Um, I can I can stream music through that, but I really just use it as a phone. I mean, it's great for a hands-free device.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's normally what we have on. I mean, we're down to one car here now. We've gotten rid of the two old, what I would call junkers at this point, but they weren't actually junkers, but uh, well, the one that I inherited from my dad, which was a 95, I guess could be considered a junker, although it was a nice car, big Oldsmobile, very comfortable and so forth and so on. And then we had a van also that we'd inherited, and that was a 2004. And it finally got to the point where getting replacement parts for it
yeah,
was a problem.
yeah.
Um, so as long as nothing broke, it was fine. But you
I
know,
I find it funny that a 2004 would be a junker, quote unquote, because I drive a 2008. And it's
Yeah,
definitely not a junker. It's a different car, you know.
yeah.
But
Well,
it's what, 15 years old, 16 years old, something like that.
well, let's see.
It's
Yeah.
getting there. It's it'll
Well, the problem is that I don't know if you remember, Sears used to claim that any tool,
mm,
any craftsman tool, no matter how old, they would actually repair or replace.
yeah,
Now, we all know what happened at Sears, so you could argue whether that was a good plan or a bad plan.
right.
But you know, cars these days, you know, once they get to be 10 years old, you know, you think about the parts stocking and the knowledge base for the technicians and so forth and so on. And you know,
Well,
and the technology has changed enough in the last decade that you know, it's not like, gee, the carburetor on this car is the same as the one 20 years
right,
ago. The bottom line is they don't have carburetors anymore. They have fuel injectors.
well,
So the techs have to be completely retrained from scratch every 5 years or so, or recertified, I guess is the term they use.
yeah. The nice thing about my car in particular, you know, it was a fleet vehicle.
Yeah.
There are millions of these things out there. I mean, in various conditions, but I'm not going to run out of parts anytime soon unless every junkyard decides to go and crush them.
Yeah, that's true.
I would even say that the stockpile of parts is new parts is pretty high because there were millions of these things made. And really, from there were some minor differences in the 2008 model, but really from 2006 to 2011, they did not change that car at all. I mean, it pretty much the same car. Parts
Well, it was also,
from one could be pulled off and put on the other.
yeah, it was also a car that was largely used by police departments and
Right.
so forth.
Right.
So,
It definitely was a fleet car. I mean,
yeah.
especially later in
Uh,
its life, it really from about 2000, well, about the 2006 to 2011, it I think it was only sold as a fleet car. I don't think you could buy one off the,
oh, really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know the 2011 for sure was the last, that was the last year of them, and they were only selling that to police. They wouldn't even sell it to the cab companies. It was only a police car. Um,
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure that they severely limited the public being able to get those cars because they did not meet um any fuel standards for the time, even when they were
Really?
selling them as fleet cars. No, the
They
cops,
didn't meet any of the
oh no,
mileage?
not even close,
Really?
not even close. They got the cops pushed and pushed hard because the cops liked that car. And so whoever, I guess it's the EPA or whoever, they gave Ford a waiver for like 5 years, but that was it. They couldn't do anything beyond that. So pretty much only the cops could get their hands on them.
Well, now all the cops drive these big black SUVs.
Cops don't care about fuel efficiency. They want power. They want the power that the car had.
Yeah.
They only minorly care about how efficient they are. They don't really like the Dodges because they are way inefficient, like very, very poorly inefficient. But and supposedly the Ford Explorers that most of them have switched to are more efficient, but still give them a lot of power to use. But I've heard that.
Well, now, are those hybrids?
No. I've heard that the cops really don't like the Ford Explorers because you have to step up to get into them instead of just kind of step in to get into them. And with all the equipment they wear and having to put people in the back of the cruisers, it's kind of a pain to get them.
Yeah, I got it.
It's easier to step in than go up. But yeah, I for the foreseeable future, that's what they're stuck with. They're stuck with those Ford Explorers. Ford doesn't even call them that anymore, but that's what they are.
So in effect, Ford is making it for a exclusive market then.
There are some minor differences between the civilian model and the fleet model. Mostly it's larger brakes and a slightly different computer. The cops need them to run 24/7. They don't want them to shut off when you pull up to a stoplight, like modern cars will shut off and restart.
Well, particularly hybrids, yeah.
So there's some modifications to the computer so that they don't shut off. And that was because the early models were just almost like the civilian models. And a couple of dogs died because the AC went off when the car shut off. And the dogs were in the back of the car for a while and died. And that was
Really?
a big deal, yes. And those dogs are not cheap. Those police dogs, they spend a lot of money on training and everything.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, the K Corps, basically Canine Corps.
yeah, and Ford agreed that yes, that's a problem, especially if you're going to have dogs back there. But not only that, they've got radios, they've got computers, they've got all kinds of stuff that just needs to run and work. So having a car shut off randomly, even though there's power going to that stuff, it's not reliable.
Yeah.
You might get somewhere and the car shut off and it's still powering up all the radio and stuff and you can't turn the car back on. So it's not reliable. So they just wanted it to be a reliable car. I don't blame them, especially given what they do. So yeah, Ford made some compromises with them and some changes to the car. They wanted bigger brakes, which makes sense. I mean, especially in a high-speed chase, they want to be able to stop. Some other stuff, but a lot of the stuff they made was kind of minor changes, but significant. There's channels in the floorboard, like even on my car, where the interceptor, the customizer, could just raise up the carpet or pull the carpet out. Actually, it probably didn't even come with carpet when it went to the customizer, but there would be channels in the floor where all the cable runs could be laid.
Ah, okay.
And I mean, that makes it super easy for a customizer to get wiring from the trunk to the engine.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of stuff both remotely in the trunk and then
Yep.
under the hood in front of the firewall and so forth.
A lot of extras, like some of them are equipped with fire suppression units. So if it catches fire, it'll shoot out some halo or halon or whatever that stuff is,
Yeah.
and put the fire out. I mean, there were a lot of options that civilians just couldn't get their hands on until the cops got ready to sell them.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that the police departments probably pay a pretty healthy premium for all those features too.
I see, where was I? It's at some auction somewhere, and the guy was saying what. Now this was 20 years ago, so I'm sure it's more now. But he was saying what the car paid, what they paid for the car. I think it was up around 40, just for one car, and it was decked out. It had a lot of the options, but he could not get anybody to bid past like $800 on this stupid thing.
Really?
He was like, "Come on, it's a $40,000 car."
Yeah. The
Dave.
oh,
Running late, but got here.
Yeah, that's pretty much the key to today. I walked in the door right at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it happens.
hey Steve.
Hello.
Can you use that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I have all brother stuff now, and I don't do inkjet. I will never buy another inkjet printer in my life.
well. My kid. Apparently, he has an Epson,
Mhm.
and he bought the wrong cartridge, and they wouldn't take it back. So
Take it back to Walmart.
apparently, they wouldn't take it.
At Walmart?
I guess
Find that hard to believe.
I-
Okay.
he
What
gave
is it?
to me. It's a ink cartridge. Just-
Really?
It's a single ink cartridge. It's a magenta ink cartridge, which makes me question where's the rest. But
You can
Yeah,
buy-
because they only sell those in packs of 3.
No, you can buy singles.
Oh,
You can
really?
buy a 3-pack of each color.
this one's got the chip in it and everything. You can see
Mhm.
the outline of the trace.
That's one of the reasons I won't buy Epson anymore.
I told him, I said, he gave it to me. He said, "Can you use that?" I said, "No." But I said, I'll take it down here and throw it on the table. Somebody might be able to use that for me.
So the last color printer I owned was an Epson Stylus Color when they first came out. It was a $700 printer.
The last,
It was also my first cron job because I found out that if I didn't print something every day, I'd need to soak the whole thing in alcohol.
yeah.
I don't think that's
It looks like there's vinyl traces in it though.
it does. I don't know.
I don't know, it might be worth it just to take it apart.
Here,
Here, without paper, without something to soak it up.
So the problem was that the ink would freeze up in the orifice if you didn't use it every day.
yep, they still do that. One of the neat things about that one was it had a big Kotex pad inside of it And that was its cleaning thing, and it had a scale under it. And when that block of cotton
Yeah.
got saturated with
That's so
ink,
full.
it turned off. You couldn't use the printer anymore, but you could open it up, take out that big wad, put another Kotex pad in there, and that's literally what it was. And lift up the bottom, because it was a snap action spring. You were good for another 5 years. Toys for you.
Toys for me. Ooh, big toys.
No,
Big small toys.
teensy tiny to you.
We have,
Hold down screws and
oh, okay.
RF hold down, cable hold down, whatever.
A new Wi-Fi adapter for this laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked up how to do this. Apparently it's not hard, but it's not as simple as just opening up one screw. There, you gotta take the Blu-ray out, and
Really?
it's underneath the keyboard. The keyboard pops after the Blu-ray's out. It's a little,
Sorry.
that was one reason why I was like, well, let's just wait until I've got some time to actually do this.
So I tested that one. It's good. If you want the memory, you're more than welcome to it.
You see that? It's almost, is it the same that you
Should
gave me
be, yeah.
beforehand? I think I've got one more machine that has PC4.
I'm upgrading all my machines to at least 32 gig.
16 is awesome. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm running VMs. And the more of that I can push off into RAM, the better.
yeah. I thought about taking the one single chip that was in the one that I upgraded and sticking it in the other, but I'm afraid that mismatched memory will act pokey.
Even slightly mismatched, 2 is possibly faster than 1,
Yeah,
just because one slot is on a rising edge, the other is on a falling edge.
Yeah.
I appreciate this. Thank you.
My pleasure.
This should solve a lot of the Wi-Fi problems. If I can remember how I actually turned it off so that it doesn't even show up. That would be.
Function F something, probably.
I don't think that's what I did. I think I actually did something in Linux, but I'll figure it out. I'll just go through the history and see what I actually did. Speaking of Linux and running Cinnamon on this laptop now.
Ah,
Can't tell, can you? I made it look very much like Mate.
yeah.
So you're running Linux Mint, and then running Cinnamon on?
I put the Cinnamon desktop on it last night
Uh-huh.
and changed all the settings so that it resembles Mate. I really like the look of Mate, but I love the features of Cinnamon. It's
Yeah,
Cinnamon
clean.
has some awesome features up to it, especially if you're running a tablet or a laptop or something. It's got some really good feature set for those.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
So I am in the process of changing all my desktops to Cinnamon because, like I said, I like the look of Mate, but I love the features of Cinnamon. And almost every tutorial you ever find, or if there's ever any problem, it's about Cinnamon. And it's slightly different than how it works with Mate.
No, I mean, it's Clem's baby. He's put a lot of time and effort into it.
And I also finally made me a Venturi.
Ah, that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? It does a lot of neat stuff. I mean, putting multiple ISO files on one thumb drive and not having to burn each one.
Yeah. How big is your stick?
This one's 64.
Okay,
I really don't go above that, but this one is USB A and C,
okay.
which will be helpful.
That's pretty much what I had a 32 gig that was ANC.
I have a collection.
All Ventoys.
Yep.
That would be
That's the
128.
128,
And an
That
8,
one's 32 or 8. Yeah,
That
that
was
one's
32.
And I think that blue one is 64. But I synchronize them occasionally, and I use these at work. I plug them in, and
this one seems to work with USB 2 or 3, even though it says it's a 3.
I'm sorry, USB A or USB C.
Oh,
It's one of the double-ended ones.
okay. I can't do that.
We're getting stuff at
This-
work now that only has one USB A plug
Yeah,
and a USB C on the front. And so I can plug in a keyboard and a mouse and or two in the back, one in the front. It's a pain.
I've got this same stick,
Mhm.
and this one is real picky about what port I plug it into.
Oh, yeah, 128 is
It's
big.
real
That
picky.
might need a BIOS update to get it to be recognized.
I don't. I did the latest BIOS update, and it still seems like it's real picky.
But that's kind of why I'm doing the 64s. 128s, I really don't have enough stuff to put on to justify it, even though it's only like $4 more. But I'll feel worse if I lose it.
Right.
So
I've lost a 128 stick before, and I felt horrible. It's like all that stuff that I was really only 16 gigs.
and I only really use them for doing installs. I don't put anything I care about on these.
Yeah,
I've got like config files and stuff, but so with Ventoy, I always do 3 partitions.
okay,
The hidden Ventoy one, the Ventoy ISO one, and then an extended one.
okay,
I put config files and build files in the extended one because during the install, you can't see the Ventoy ISO, but you can see the next one.
okay.
So I can do an install and say, reference this Kickstart file.
I'd like one that has persistence so that I can,
Mhm. And you really need to do a 3rd partition to do that properly.
yeah.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I've only used persistence once.
My dad emailed me yesterday and said he can't get online again. I said, well, it's gotta be an update. It's gotta be something that Windows.
Oh, I'm sorry, Windows. Okay.
It's gotta be updated. So I said, let me just make you a USB stick.
Mhm.
We'll boot off of the USB stick. You'll get used to it. But I want it to have some persistence so that they don't have to keep.
But it's so much slower. If there's any way to just put a 2nd drive in the machine, I would.
I guess I could. He's probably not gonna be happy if I just wanted him to get used to it.
Yeah.
So a week later, he would say, okay, we like it.
Mhm.
It's mostly for his wife, because his wife just wants to play games. And if she can't play her games, it doesn't matter if she can get on the internet or not.
This was a little while ago. Pretty sure this was a Red Hat 4 box that I did updates on during a thunderstorm and lost power while I was doing a kernel update.
Hmm.
And that thing, it wouldn't boot. I was sad and angry. And that's when I learned about System Rescue CD, which is on every one of these Ventoys. And I booted off a System Rescue and chain loaded the thumb drive.
I'm going to copy that.
Okay. Should be on that.
No, I'm not. I don't have any more USB things. Never mind.
Yeah, you do.
Nope,
There's that display port
that's a display port.
on the side.
That is an eSATA.
Those are usually USB. It's usually a combo USB eSATA. Plug it in, worst that can happen is smoke.
I don't even think it would fit well.
Okay, sorry. On a lot of Dells, they are.
Yeah, for some reason, as nice, as powerful as this machine is, it only came with 3 USB ports. USB must not have been a thing when this machine was made. I don't know. I will, I'll get a copy of it one day, because that sounds like something I would need. I put boot rescue, couple of different Linux Mint distros, and the 32-bit Linux Mint distro.
What do you use that for?
I have a really, really old laptop that I'm using for P25 to decode the P25, and it's a 32-bit machine.
Really?
Yeah, it's an antique. I mean, by far, it's by far an antique. But it works just fine for decoding P25, so I found a use for it. At least it didn't go in the round circular bin.
Recycle bin?
It probably would have ended up at Goodwill or something if I couldn't have found something to do with it.
Oh, there's Ray.
But yeah. I figured it would be nice to have at least one 32-bit distro that I could still use. And it's whatever that is, Linux Mint the what is that? The actual Debian based distro.
Oh, LMDE.
Ray,
Hey guys.
what's going on?
A lot of rebuilding work here at home. It's just actually I did drive up to Troy yesterday. I got to go to Pennsylvania tomorrow. So I guess I'm just sitting at home doing nothing. But I feel like it sometimes. I've been doing a lot of rebuild stuff. That is something that's keeping me at home. I'm still gone 3 or 4 days a week. Not much going on here. Playing with some Bluetooth speakers, and playing with lasers.
All right. Well,
Yeah. What about you guys? I know I kind of stepped in late, sort of.
not much going on here.
I'm doing nothing. I just got over being sick for the last 2 weeks. Not sure if I was ill or if it was changing meds.
I got a new toy.
Oh,
Nice.
what is it? I mean, what model is it?
It's a TIG radio. It's an H3, and the reviews on it are pretty good. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I mean, I could pretty much almost touch my finger. That's how small this thing is. It's got a decent airband receive. And
Says it's an 8-band receive.
yeah. One of the weird quirks about it though is the memory channels will not take a receive only channel, which is bizarre to me, but I can't program, like if I wanted to scan certain airband frequencies, I can't program it into the memory to do that.
Can you do it through PC software? I know
No.
it says that it's got a USB-C cable for programming.
No, it was the PC software that complained about it. It seemed like I might be able to do it from the keypad, maybe, but
Okay.
that seems it sort of worked. It still kind of is complaining that it's out of range. It is programmable via Bluetooth though. It has a software for your phone, and I haven't tried that yet. But so far, it seems like it's a decent little radio, and it's got a better airband receive than that Qshon UV5K or K5 UVK5, which that's what I kind of wanted, was a decent airband receive. And the package I found it on Amazon for $36. It came with 3 antennas, one much better antenna than the stock rubber duck, and 1 airband antenna. So should be good for what I wanted to do.
What's the airband? 460?
It's 118, 116 to 120 something.
Oh, okay.
It's AM. So it's airband's an AM mode. But I thought for $35 or $36 with the 2 antennas and the radio, which even on AliExpress, you rarely see the radio go below $40. I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's $38 on right now for a very similar kit to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got it a little bit cheaper than that. I don't know how.
Oh, you can get 2 of them. Did you get the microphone too, right?
Earphone jack, earpiece,
Uh,
earphone combo deal.
There's a microphone, battery, antennas, cable, charger cable. Yeah.
That's probably the one, the other one I was looking at, because I think it was slightly more expensive, but I decided I didn't need the microphone because I've already got Kenwood style microphones. Well, it was like I said, you rarely see this radio, even on AliExpress, below $40. So
Cool.
36
So
seems like a good deal.
it has the USB FTDI cable, but it also has Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And if you really want to go old school, you can use the Bofang K connector to program it. I don't know why you would want to because it's got USB-C, but and it's just a standard USB-C cable. All you need to do is plug it in.
Oh, I prefer all those companies that use special cables.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, we
I'm sure you do, Ray. I prefer my laser machines to have special servos and stepper motors. Stuff that I just
One
can't
of a kind
get my hands
software. One of a kind software. That's it.
on. That's it. Stuff I just can't get my hands on. No, it's a pretty nice.
I've been doing lasers for a long time. So last week, somebody's like, "Hey Ray, I have this really old laser that I'm not gonna fix. Can you help me sell it?" I looked at it. I was like, I've only seen one of these ever before. So I called the guy up. I was like, "Hey, I got one of these that's like for parts not working. Do you want to buy it for $800?" He's like, "Yes, yes." They're super hard to find. Yes, I'll buy it for parts. Like, holy crap! The only other one I've ever seen. Otherwise, I just called the guy up to see if he wanted to buy it for parts. He's like, hell yeah! But yeah, your radio looks really cool. The H3 from TID.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of functions. I was just looking at it online, and yeah, GMRS and programming, everything. It's cool.
I got the hand model, of course, not the GMRS model. But if you hold 2 buttons, and turn it on, you can select which model you want.
Really?
Yes, it's
Does it remember that
yeah,
through restarts?
yeah, yeah. But if you do it, it'll erase all the memories that you've already got programmed. So if I wanted to make it,
But I can back that up beforehand.
yeah, if I wanted to make it a GMRS only radio, I could do it. There's also a mode called normal. I don't know what that means, but basically it opens it up so they'll transmit on every frequency. Which
Normal.
obviously is not a good idea. But obviously they designed this radio for multiple purposes. And they didn't really, that's something that, some YouTuber found by probably playing around with it.
Okay, what was the cost on that?
$36.
$39.
Jesus.
Yeah, $40. 40. We'll say $40. Amazon. But
They come with a crappy little headset.
yeah, of course. I mean, they got to throw in the 20-cent headset, right?
Can you
It can't.
talk to it with trying to remember what the Linux radio software is?
Chirp.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Chirp is the one that complained that I was trying to program frequencies that were out of range.
Yeah.
Receive
I'll
only
bet there's
frequencies.
a command line option to shut up about that.
I don't know. But they fully support Chirp. They've given the developer of Chirp whatever files he needed to make it compatible.
Nice.
that was one of its selling points. And then they've got their own software that for the phone. Biggest problem I've got with their software is they require you to sign up for their service. So
Oh, forget that. Write your own software.
yeah, so you need your own, you
Sure.
need a
That way
log.
you can be a one-of-a-kind software only for your radio. Hell, tie it to your serial number.
Yeah, it'll only work with my radio.
Your radio.
My radio. This is myradiosoftware.com. Yeah, a
Only
lot of
works with my
people,
10 page
I've
tree,
read
serial number,
online
blah, blah, blah.
have problems with them wanting you to log in to use the radio programming software. I suppose if it backs it up to the cloud somewhere, that might be useful, but I don't see the real need for that. Especially when it's a USB-C cable and chirp works just fine.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm guessing some YouTuber somewhere held the buttons and turned it on and figured out, oh, there's this hidden secret menu. Now I'll tell everybody.
It's no longer secret. No.
I love secret. It's
In the other mode, will it transmit on 220?
in normal. It will.
Yeah.
It'll transmit on everything in normal. 300, 220, 500, 600, whatever number you can jam in there, it will transmit on it. Actually, if you go into, I haven't tried it. If you go into the menu system, which I'm sure you can't see because of the crappy camera, there is a option somewhere to turn on 220. I haven't tried it at all.
That amazing camera, I'll be able to see your serial number. I can hack your software, your custom software.
That's right.
Yeah.
There it is. There's my serial number.
Oh, Lord.
Mike Gaines. AM
Ah.
band. I'm getting close. 200 TX. So if I turn that on,
Yeah, I can't see that.
If I turn that on, I'm thinking I should be able to transmit
A second.
up 220.
Oh,
Hello? Oh. I'm also thinking that it probably doesn't have good filters for 220 built into it. It's got decent filters for 2-meter
Yes.
440.
sorry, that was my wife. She came in and the dog went crazy.
Oh, of course. Did you hear me? So it probably doesn't have good filters for 220. But it's got the option to turn it on, I guess. I guess if you really want it, you can do it.
Doesn't work great, but it works.
It works. I'm just kind of amazed. This is smaller than any of the other Chinese radios that I have bought. And it's got way more features to it. It's got a lot of crap. Just it has frequency hopping built into it. I'm not real sure why we would use that. but it's kind of interesting that it can do it.
Yeah. How do you synchronize that with the other radio?
I don't know. Maybe I need to buy a second one and see how that works. It's got voice scramble, which I'm not entirely sure is legal to use.
So voice scrambling and frequency hopping, I can only think of a few reasons anybody would want to do that, and those are all illegal.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thought. But I know from listening to police calls and police scanners, they will sometimes use voice scrambling. So like I said, I'm kind of thinking this radio was meant for dual markets, tri markets.
Some of the police stations are frequency hopping. Is that so they can track the police stations?
Maybe.
Okay.
Like I suspect that this radio is meant for at least three markets, three different markets. Why some of the features are in the main menu, I have no idea, but maybe I'm not supposed to know why some of the features are in the main menu. So I'm not in charge. I didn't design it. I just like it. And as with every good Chinese radio,
It's got the flashlight.
It's got a light.
because you might need
That's pretty intense too.
a pretty decent flashlight.
Oh, and it blinks.
And I'm blind. Don't look at it. Oh yeah. I'm not saying it's a great flashlight. It's for a Chinese radio flashlight, it's pretty good. You know,
You know what the capacity of the battery is?
I can find out. I'm thinking
A little while.
I know it took forever to charge this thing.
Because the battery is like a 40 gauge wire.
2,500 milliamp hour.
Yeah, right.
Ray doesn't believe it. 7.4 volts. That looks like it's two 18650s in there.
Mhm.
And maybe some circuitry to help it charge. The battery has a USB charger built into it too.
Oh, that's cool.
USB-C, it's built into the battery.
So you don't have to use the radio to charge?
Well, you don't, it won't charge from the radio USB-C port. It'll charge from the cradle or from the battery. It just means that if you're out in the field somewhere, you can still charge your battery.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's starting to see a lot of radios. I think the EU had something to do with that,
Oh, yeah.
with
Could be.
USB charging.
All right, I just realized I left my laser machine on.
Cool. Uh, Vicente says he's in South Carolina.
Doing in South Carolina.
I don't know.
Probably on vacation.
I could try to find out.
Vicente doesn't go on vacation, does he? There we go.
You said South Carolina or North Carolina?
He says South.
Hmm.
Um, I'll see if he answers. He might just be on vacation. Who knows? Um, y'all know this is the short meeting. So we got 20-ish more minutes.
Okay.
And
So who's chasing you out tonight?
I don't know. I really don't. And our next two meetings are virtual. Our next three meetings are virtual. Because I didn't see the point in coming down here for a 15-minute meeting.
Oh, yeah, I think we all agree with that.
You should have a meeting down at the Journal building.
We could. See,
We could
you're
do
going to
it.
have to convince people that live south of here.
I know. Well, they can do virtual then. You're
This-
any day that you want, any day that you're forced to a virtual meeting, just go down to the Journal building.
We'll miss
I think that
the
would make-
fun and joy of Steve.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying days that you're forced to do virtual.
I hear you. Well, hopefully somebody gets up off their butt and actually schedules some more meetings.
So is the building outfitted with the appropriate communications facilities?
Internet? No.
It'd be pretty hard to do a virtual meeting from there then.
Well, you could do it, host it out of your phone or something. No, for right now, it's pretty limited. But I do have a tower. I got cable. I got a radio. I could set it up pretty quick, but it just takes time. You know me, I got plenty of that.
I could always just come to the shop and go into the break room and sit there.
Oh, here at Rabbit?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Always welcome to come over to Rabbit.
and maybe even play with some lasers.
There's lasers, there's
3D printers.
foosball. There's free drinks and snacks. Yeah. And we just got I've got how many, like 12 3D printers up and running right now. And we just got 16 more. I sold one of them like the next day. So more 3D printers.
I have an old Wanhu i3 Plus 3D printer.
When what?
It's a Wanhu. It I don't know who, well, who made it. It's a monoprice, rebranded who. It's kind of sort of like a cheaper version of the i3, the Purser, like a really cheaper version of the Purser.
Prusa?
Pursa,
Prusa?
Prusa.
PRUSA.
It.
Okay.
I got filaments stuck in the hot end of it, and I have
It's supposed to go on the hot end.
do what?
That it's supposed to go on the hot end.
Yeah, well, it's not supposed to
Stay in there.
stay there.
Okay. All right.
I have cleaned it. I have. Oh. I might come over and get a little drill bit and see if I could just tap it out, but everything I have
You might
tried,
be able to do it to a certain point, but you're supposed to heat it up and then use the there's a
yeah,
needle file.
yeah.
Sure.
At first, okay, I couldn't even get the needle file to go into the hole to even try. I finally have been able to work out enough of it from the top to do that. But
Is it a standard extruder tip?
yeah, I can't get the extruder apart either.
Oh well, just come over here and we'll fix it. I got all kinds of extruder tips and
I
stuff now. So
I
and if
finally
we can't get that fixed, we'll put yours in the garbage and we'll get you an Ender 3. Okay.
I already have an Ender 3. I don't need another one. I'm trying to get rid of
Always
stuff.
need another.
Trying to get rid of.
Yeah, I always need another one.
My wife wants it off the kitchen table. Is what I'm trying to say, Ray.
Is it on the kitchen table?
It's sitting there because there's no room anywhere else for it.
All right. Did I tell you guys I got filament? I got all these 3D printers. Now I'm buying filament. Did I tell you guys about that?
Nope.
Yeah, last week I bought like 150 rolls of filament, and it's coming from China. Okay. I don't remember if I told you guys about that or not.
All green, isn't it?
All green, yes. Yeah. All green.
I bought years ago, before we moved into the apartment, I had bought some natural filament. At least that's what it said
Yeah.
on the box. I finally opened that package up last month. It's glow in the dark filament. It's awesome.
No way.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much did you get?
I only got one roll, but the box says it's natural. And when I pulled it out of
So are
the
lightning bugs.
yeah, when I pulled it out of the box, I was like, huh, this doesn't quite look like the other natural that I had. But I didn't think much about it because it was still kind of clearish. And I started.
That's the same stuff you got clogged in your
No,
mixture?
no, different stuff. But I started printing with it, and then I turned the lights off, and it starts glowing, and I'm like, "This is awesome!"
Okay, so you know there's issues with glow in the dark filament, right?
No, what?
Probably toxicity issues.
No, it's actually they take tiny little bits of glow in the dark material and they just mixing it with natural. And what happens is those tiny little bits are so hard that they act more like a garnet embedded in there, and they're abrasive. They end up ruining your extruder tip.
Okay,
If you get a brass extruder tip, you have to go to a steel or a titanium extruder tip.
that's good to know.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I wouldn't have known that it was glow in the dark though, because I mean the box said natural. So somebody
Somebody in the factory just did it wrong.
Just did it wrong.
Packaged stuff wrong. Packaged stuff wrong.
The end,
Freaking
the
employees,
end of the
man.
natural line was coming, and the beginning of the glow in the dark, and they just went, screw it. Here you go.
It all looks natural to me.
It all looks natural. It does have a slightly different texture than the natural, but I didn't think much about it. And when I turned the lights off, it started glowing. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But
That's a win.
I knew that the metal filament was like that had the stuff that was coated with plastic and had metal fibers in it or whatever would destroy your head. I did not know that the glow in the dark would.
So what do they have? Some kind of a crystalline material that's hard and abrasive and in the plastic?
Well, they really would prefer that it was soft and smooth, but the pieces that are actually glow in the dark, yeah, they are harder and they are more abrasive. It's just kind of like one of those things that you're trying to add that feature to an already natural filament. So they just mix it in.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what they do with the metal filament too. It's kind of a mix. There's little metal flake kind of deals inside the plastic.
And those things tend to grind on the tip.
Yeah, it acts just like garnet for a water jet. It
Okay.
rubs it as it extrudes. I mean, it's not a huge thing, but you run 20 projects through your tip and it's going to change from a 0.4 to a 0.5, 0.04 to a 0.05.
Good.
Okay. 0.4, 0.5, yeah, whatever.
Well, so far I haven't noticed a difference, but I'll keep an eye on it. I'll stop.
Well, it's not like you're going to run 40 projects through it. Don't worry about it. No big deal.
I've got a whole roll of this stuff, so.
Okay.
On the other side of that, you can buy a box of 40 nozzles, pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was offering for him to bring his 3D printer over here and we'll just fix it. Tell Patty that it's definitely coming back home though. He can't leave it here.
I finally got the actual hot end out of the aluminum cooling block. Finally got that out. That was a pain.
How about the heater element?
Yeah. I probably destroyed it as I was getting it out, but I finally got it out. I'm frustrated with this printer. I looked at Patty and said, if somebody gave me $20 for it, they could have it. And I know that the stepper motors are worth more than $20.
What are they? NEMA 11?
17.
NEMA 17? NEMA 17s.
There's 5 of them, I think, on this printer. 4 of them. Maybe it's 4. Maybe there's 4.
There's one for the extruder, probably 2 on the Z,
Mhm.
1 on the X, 1 on the Y.
Yes. Yeah. There's 4 or 5. It's
Is it a dual Z?
yeah.
Dual Z drive? Yeah, that's X, Y, Z, Z, extruder. It's 5.
It I have struggled with this thing. The thing when we moved, it got bent. And that made it was my own stupidity because I unbended it and thought that I had it all leveled up and I didn't, and it just shoved the hot end right into the bed and pushed the material up where it wasn't supposed to be, and it was just bad.
Hey, Leroy, do you know anybody that has a Ender K1 Max?
Other than you, no
Other than me. The one I got is just
parts.
bent. It's not quite parts, but it's really bent.
That's what happened with this one. It somehow in the move it got bent, and I tried to use it anyway. I thought I had it all leveled out. I finally got it where the two axes, it used to sit like this, and it was really noticeable that it was cockeyed. I finally got it leveled out, and it seems like it actually is leveled out now. But the bed still acts like it wants to be too low. It's too low. I cannot get it to go any higher than it is. So I think it's still bent somewhere. I may not screw with this anymore. I may just take it apart and throw the stepper motors in a box and keep them. But it's frustrated the crap out of me for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. But it was my own fault. So I do not see anybody lining up out there. I don't really know what was going on or who wanted the room. So if we're real quiet, maybe they will let us sit there a little while longer. You need an Epson print cartridge for anything, Ray? A magenta?
No.
Yep.
Is it a what do they call this? Die sub? It's not a die sub cartridge.
No, it's
I could,
Dura-Bright Ultra Ink.
if I could find an old dye sub Tektronix printer, that I'd buy.
That's what my last color printer was a Tektronix phaser.
Nice.
I would love to get my hands on one of those again.
For a while, Xerox was selling one, and they'd give you the printer if you bought the materials from them, but it was a wax transfer, and it smelled like crayons.
Yeah, that's what mine was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine was a wax crayon transfer deal.
Sounds really, really, really familiar.
That's got system master on it.
Oh,
Get it back to me at some point.
okay.
I don't think I need to have more than 4 of this.
Vicente says food and beach with a smile, a winky smile. So that sounds like vacation.
South Carolina's got
South Carolina means he's at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Right.
That sounds like vacation. I'm going to throw this over there on that. Somebody
Tell him go to Grand Strand
Would still be there.
horseback riding.
horseback riding.
Grand Strand horseback riding.
All right, I can do that.
Grand Strand. I do that every year when I go down there. I love it.
The animal that can roll over and kill me. It's not in the list.
Oh, they act like kids. I swear.
Okay, a big
Some
stoop
cross
animal
between
that can roll over.
kids and dogs.
So we're in stealth mode now.
I don't see anybody out there beating the door down to come in, so.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, we almost.
But the room is reserved for someone else.
Supposedly, yeah, we were supposed to have the room until 6:30.
I know for Hamilton County, if I get a room from 10:30 till 12:30, they don't actually schedule anybody until 1 to be in there after me. They always pad half an hour. I don't know if they do that here or not.
It doesn't seem.
Nope.
I could, but clear right up. That's why every now and then, you know, people actually start lining up. But until I see somebody, but if I see somebody and I abruptly shut down, you'll know why.
Okay. You got the bum's rush.
Yeah, well, I mean, our meetings usually go to 7, so who knows? That, like I've said in the past, the new system that they've come up with themselves, it's not a great system. I really wish they would go back to start paying the previous whoever would do the scheduling, because that system was really nice. I mean, you could chuck off blocks at a time and say, I want the room every day, every Thursday at whatever.
Yeah,
Somebody would still have to come along and approve it, but you do it once and you could do it for like the entire year.
Hamilton County first limits you to 6 months into the future. After you make a reservation, you refresh the page and you have to fill in every single thing.
That's what they do.
They're probably using the same system.
It's,
On the plus side,
oh, I'm starting to see some people show up. Okay.
on the plus side, that's stored as an automatic input.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye,
Take
everybody.
care. See you next week.
Next week, virtual.